I want to. I'm trying to text y'all.
Yes. Don't get too close to him. No.
If everyone could take their seats, and if you're on the run of show to speak, we're asking for everyone that is on the run of show to come up. Love the energy in the room this morning, but if you all could take your seats.
Yep. I'll get a few that I see.
I'm ready, Mr. Jess, Mr. Director, whenever you're ready.
All right. Who does it look like it is?
Sincere, Mr. President. We're going to get it done.
Dawood. O'Rush. Robbie. Here she is. She's right here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mayor Parker. Good morning, colleagues. And good morning, honored guests that are here today. As I believe most of you are aware, my name is Jesse Lawrence. I am the Planning and Development Director here in the city of Philadelphia. It is my privilege to serve the Power Grid Administration in that capacity. As you can imagine, my team, Department of Planning and Development at the City of Philadelphia, we've been focused heavily on the mayor's goal of preserving 30,000 units, and specifically our effort to complement a safer, cleaner, greener Philadelphia. And that 30,000 unit goal will spread across all income levels to provide economic opportunity for all. Over the past year, we've worked very much so closely with housing and data experts, some of who you will hear from today, to ensure that this initiative is strongly grounded in a strong foundation. We've met internally with colleagues from departments and other offices across the city whose work touch and is touched by the city's interface with the development of housing, and we start to look at those pain points together. Additionally, many of our existing programs that have built and preserved housing continue to succeed. In fact, the last time I was here standing at this podium a few weeks ago when we celebrated the 60th anniversary for PHDC for the city of Philadelphia. It's our treasured partner that carries out so many of our essential housing programs here in the city of Philadelphia. An overview of the work that I've just described is laid out in one of these posters under Phase 1. Today, however, I'm thrilled, super thrilled, to see so many of you here that I've worked with through the past, and many of us have worked together, here as we launch the second phase of the Mayor's Initiative for Housing. And it's my absolute pleasure to call upon my mayor, Mayor Cherelle L. Parker, to tell you more about that.
Mr. President, you know, something exciting is happening in the city of Philadelphia, and we are all getting a chance to be together, to kick it off together. I want to just start with a little bit of roll call. Is State Senator Nikhil Saval here? Is he here? Okay, State Senator Nikhil Saval, Councilwoman Gaultier, Councilmember Curtis Jones, where are you? Okay. Majority Leader Gilmore Richardson, where are you? All right. Councilwoman Rue Landau and Councilmember Nicholas O'Rourke. We came in the building together. Council President, I feel like a drum roll. This is what we've all been waiting for. I am incredibly excited on today to announce a new initiative here in the city of Philadelphia that directly speaks to the goal that I promised and shared with Philadelphians along the trail, and that was to create and preserve 30,000 units of housing across the city of Philadelphia. 30,000. We haven't run from that number either. When we were given the chamber address, I think people heard me say that I think about in the middle of the night what I reference as Mission 30,000, and then they say, well, how are you going to achieve Mission 30,000? I'm not sure where Andre Val is, but we're going to achieve it via home. Philadelphia Home. HOME is an acronym for Housing Opportunities Made Easy. That's our initiative and how we're going to achieve our Mission 30,000. Now, Council President has all of the electeds who are present. We have constantly talked about the urgent need for more housing in the city of Philadelphia for years. This is not a new conversation, Mr. President, and it has always been and will continue to be a central focus of our work. As a matter of fact, if you saw me whisper something to Boyer and to the Council President, I was whispering when people determine what we will be judged by, our efficiency, our effectiveness as elected officials, it will be what did we do when we had seats of influence to ensure that housing opportunities were made easy for all residents in the city of Philadelphia. Why is that important to me? It's central to the promise of having a safer, cleaner, and greener city with access to economic opportunity for all, with a government that people can see, touch, and feel. And the HOME initiative, it will embody these central promises. So what are we unveiling here on today? The signing of Executive Order number 3-25. It is the next step of many in this administration that will continue to move us forward on this journey of 30,000. In order to achieve that goal, though, we have maintained a commitment to some sound principles that serve as our North Star for planning, and they're very simple, and I want everyone to be clear about what they are. First is preserving our homes. 2, making homes more affordable. Building more housing, making the city work better for the people. I could say that 5 times in a row and it still wouldn't be enough. Preventing housing instability and homelessness, making our homes and communities more resilient, and reducing blight that ultimately improves our communities. These are the principles that have been the guiding light through months and months and months of preliminary research that we've done prior to today, as my team has learned best practices nationwide, meeting with peer cities, which will serve as our compass in implementing this plan. So what does this executive order do, Mayor Parker? The first thing the order does, it establishes the HOME initiative for the purpose of convening all relevant stakeholders to review and provide recommendations to reform government policies in order to achieve the city's goal of preserving and creating those 30,000 units. Second, the executive order establishes an advisory group that will provide the guidance, the recommendations, and the insight on the HOME initiative based on expertise. The advisory group, who will it consist of? Private developers, nonprofit developers and CDCs, minority developers, partners like who've been with us from day one, Kelvin Jeremiah at PHA, Philadelphia Works, PHDC, and groups like the BIA, the GBCA, and the building and construction trades, along with the carpenters. Third, The executive order directs the advisory group and all relevant city departments and agencies, quasi-governmental landholding entities, and non-profit partners to, one, identify key barriers and opportunities within the housing and commercial development process and recommend solutions to streamline government processes and incentivize the creation and preservation of safe, healthy, quality housing for all city residents, including affordable housing to both rent and to own. And we're going to promote this. This next one, Mr. President, this next one is my coin. And Kelvin Jeremiah, we've been talking about this for a long time, to promote the creation of what I call affordable luxury housing everywhere. And this is extremely personal to me because whenever we talk about affordable in the city of Philadelphia, usually that means people who are unemployed, underemployed, low-wage workers, or those who may have less than perfect credit. And when we talk about affordable, all of a sudden, the balance as it relates to quality seems to shift because we don't think those who need affordable also desire quality. I've loved affordable luxury all my life. That's how I fell in love with layaway and consignments, right? Because I like good stuff, always have. But it took me a little longer than it took somebody else to get there. So we understand the same process with this. What about the recommendations? Value-based and data-driven. We also want them to identify which city entities and external stakeholders that, if you heard me yelling, "Where's Robin? Where's Robin?" I was saying I needed her to be right here because PHFA is an extremely valuable partner to the city of Philadelphia in this process. And finally, we have to estimate the cost to implement each of the recommendations. Now, of course, do we have some estimates? We know some of our programs, how much it costs to get things done. But when we talk about reforming the processes and streamlining them, what will the actual cost be? And that is what they are going to be reporting to me within 30 days of signing the executive order. Why is it only 30 days, Mayor Parker? You don't need to plan for 3 years. We're going to get it done. We're bringing the best and the brightest and the experts, the project users, the implementers, the builders, everyone who is doing the work. They're going to be at the table. And I will tell you something amazing that I've learned as mayor. When you put everyone who has a nickel and a quarter of a process at the table and tell them to give you a solution, they find a way to get it done. So that's why we're focused on 30 days. It could not be possible without our federal, state, and local partners. I mentioned PHFA, but we can't forget about HUD, PHA, and PIDC, among others. These external partners that you just heard me reference, they are explicitly referenced in the executive order because without that intergovernmental cooperation and collaboration, this definitely falls flat. You can't get it done without that. Now, many of you are eager to hear more details about the plan, and when we were at the chamber, they heard that very shortly, Mr. President, I'll be announcing a significant financial investment that we'll be proposing that will be directed at both production and preservation, but we won't be talking about that today. You have to wait for that in the budget address when I get an opportunity to go before Council President Johnson and all members of council to present our budget address in the future. What I do want to say is that this plan is going to be rooted in the best available data. You're going to hear planning and development and external partners, the Reinvestment Fund and God House. They're going to talk to you about that. But I also want to be very clear about a hill that's extremely important to me. And that is, I feel like I've spent my career in a line trying to close the gap between the haves and the have-nots. A hill that I will die on that always happens in government, and it usually happens when we, the elected officials, do it. You want to close the gap between the haves and the have-nots, but usually when you're making policy, you pit the have-nots against those who have just a little bit. So the people who are going to work every day, where you want those particularly who are living in deep poverty and low income, you want them to get into the working class. And once we increase the minimum wage and some other things, maybe we'll incentivize those kind of jobs and we'll help to push people along the way. But usually those people who make a nickel over the income eligibility guidelines for all of these wonderful programs that we offer in the city of Philadelphia, they get left out of the mix. We will not pit the have-nots against those who have just a little bit. Is everybody clear about our commitment to that? Shake your head for me. Okay, I don't want anybody to leave not knowing about that, because we're going to have some conversations about that one, Mr. President. Finally, I want to say this. We will have to transmit to council an initial package of bills that will help ease the burdens of producing and restoring housing that will increase density. The legislation will be informed by stakeholder engagement and developed in partnership with the City Council of Philadelphia, so there won't be any surprises if somebody is looking for drama. We will engage with the council, in advance. We were working on this, and I got a text message yesterday that you were about to introduce an executive order, Madam Mayor, that eliminates councilmatic prerogative. I said, I was a district council member. I was raised in the 9th councilmatic district. Councilmatic prerogative, that in land use, that is one of the most valuable roles of the district council person in particular. We have to work on this process together, but what we will be saying is, for every house that we will preserve, for every house that we will build that is a part of Mission 30,000, that is a part of home, housing opportunities made easy, we want a streamlined approach so we can get shovels in the ground and the workforce development and the apprentices, Ryan Boyer, trained by the building trades with the building trades in those homes so that we can do that work immediately. Is everybody clear about that part? Okay, that's important. Finally, you can't get it done without great leadership. We have an amazing team with planning and development. Our director, Jesse Lawrence, Chief of Staff, John Monlack, give them a huge round of applause. We wouldn't be here, Director Lawrence, without you and your work. Architect too, right? Architect, engineer. Oh, we wouldn't be here without you, right? But today, I'm also very excited to announce, and it's been difficult trying to keep this under wraps, but I've been bubbling because I've been wanting to tell for a long time that we were able to snag her. But the crucial appointment that we're going to make on the day is that Angela Brooks will serve as the Chief Housing and Urban Development Officer for the City of Philadelphia. Give Angela a huge round of applause. Angela previously served as director of the Illinois Office of Corporation for Supportive Housing and will be overseeing our efforts to develop and implement our citywide housing plan. Her expertise will be instrumental in achieving our goal. And Angela, I am so excited to have you. Give another round of applause for Angela Brooks.
Thank you, Mayor Parker. I can't believe I drew this short end of the stick and had to follow her, but it is my pleasure to be here. As the mayor mentioned, I'm Angela D. Brooks, and I mentioned my middle initial because I know a bunch of you are typing my name in your search engines, and I have a common name. So you want to put the D, because what I can assure you is I am not the amazing architect in Los Angeles. She comes up first. I'm not her. You don't want me to be that person. But who I am is I'm honored to be joining the Parker administration. I, for the last 2 years, have been the president of the American Planning Association, and a lot of the work that we have been doing is around housing supply. And I've been going around the country, really around the world, thinking about the housing crisis and how it impacts our cities and how it impacts the neighbors and the neighborhoods and the communities that we want our residents to live in. I am very excited to be joining this team, and currently I serve as the director of the Illinois Office of the Corporation for Supportive Housing. For those of you who are not familiar with that organization, we are a national nonprofit, but we're also a community development finance institution. And so for the last couple of years, I've been doing a lot of work really training developers on creating permanent supportive and affordable housing, and also on the lending side, providing acquisition and pre-development loans. So I've been on all sides of the table with housing, and I'm excited to bring that lens to the work I'll be doing here. As a part of the American Planning Association, we've been working on the Housing Supply Accelerator, which produced the Housing Supply Accelerator Playbook, which is a toolkit that cities can use to really look at how do we reduce regulatory barriers from producing the types of housing we all want and need. And so I'm very excited to look at how those things are implemented here in Philadelphia, but also the unique landscape of housing that is here in Philadelphia and the great work that most of you in this room have been doing and will continue to do, and I'm excited to partner with each and every one of you. These experiences I've had really have given me a unique perspective, but I know a lot of you bring that as well, and I look forward to having meetings. I'm pretty sure many of you will be on my calendar day one. I start next month. I look forward to that. I look forward to your lens. Council President, I've heard great things about you and the work you're doing. The amazing staff that Jesse and John lead are members of the APA. I've gotten to work with many of them. I was here 2 years ago for the American Planning Association conference. Shout out to the Tourism Convention Bureau for getting us here. It made me fall in love with this city. It made me fall in love with the things of this country started here, and I'm excited to be a part of that. I'm not going to speak very long, but I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be a part of the Parker administration. This housing crisis is going to be a challenge, but challenges are easily accomplished when we work together. And over the next few months, we are going to be working together to collaborate and come up with a plan that we can implement together. And I know with all of you in the room working with us, we can get this done. It won't be easy, but it is achievable with all of us together. Thank you.
You've heard us mention that we can't get this done without partnership. Give a huge round of applause for our City Council President, Kenyatta Johnson.
So I'm going to be brief, but I just want to say hats off and ask everyone, let's give a round of applause to our mayor because each mayor will be defined by their legacy and what they prioritize. And for this mayor to say, I want to address the issue of housing inequality here in the city of Philadelphia is something that definitely should be noted. This is an agenda that I know for a fact that not only myself, but also members of council can wrap their arms around. Rather, from the work that my majority leader, Captain Gilmore Richardson, has done to address the issue of tangled title, to make sure we address the issue of generational wealth and helping individuals transition their houses from one owner to another owner, or to Councilman Curtis Jones, who recently worked on a project in his district to go after slum landlords and work with PHA to make sure our seniors in his district can live with dignity. Or also making sure we're addressing the issue of, as I like to say, retaining walls and driveways and all of the various issues that have an impact on housing preservation. My housing leader in City Council, Councilman Jamie Gaudier, always talked about making sure, when you talk about housing preservation, what are we doing to make sure that the most vulnerable individuals in our society are protected, as well as Councilman Nicholas O'Rourke, who wanted to be appointed to the License Inspection Committee, just to make sure that landlords are doing good by those who live in poverty. And so this is an agenda that we can work our arms around and work in partnership with our mayor. And as a council president, council president, that's great, right? But I'm more proud to be the district council person of the 2nd Councilmanic District. Come on. And here's why. As a district council person, I represent the Flyers, the Sixers again. Y'all catch that. Again. The Phillies, the Eagles, the Navy Yard, the Port. We have a major project now called the Bellwether District, is the former Sunoco refinery, and also Live Casino, which is probably one of my proudest accomplishments because we had a target goal of 50% diversity, equity, and inclusion proposal, but we ended with 63% participation. But I'm gonna wrap up on this. The reason why I talk about my district being an economic engine, I tout those particular projects, and I've done major projects for Bart Blattstein, I've done major projects for Carl Drainoff, but the work that always want my heart is focusing on affordable and workforce housing and low-income housing, and making sure that everyone can live with dignity, irregardless of their checkbook and or their pocketbook. And so for me, this particular project, I'm excited to wrap my arms around, because when we talk about housing inequality, constituent services are the bedrock of the work that we do. And as a district council person, people come to my office day in and day out trying to do one thing, and that's trying to find housing. And so, Mayor, we're ready to roll up our sleeves to do this work with you to address the issue of housing inequality. I remember as a young man, you know, I'm Harvard educated, Penn educated, also graduated from Mansfield University. But I also remember as a young man growing up, our first home was Efficiency, right? Then the next house we rented, right? And then I was so proud when I came home from college, my mom became a homeowner, right? And that's the way that that's the way that we build generational wealth. So I'm excited. Man, we're gonna roll up our sleeves. We made that commitment that we're gonna transform this city under our tenure. I just want to thank you for having me here. And to my members, I don't do this work alone. I also see we've been joined by Councilman Cindy Bass, who sits on PIDC, and so she's also involved in making sure developers have the capital that they need to build. I'm talking about private developers, and so we're going to wrap our arms around this project and go to war on behalf of those most vulnerable in the city of Philadelphia. Thank you, Mayor, for having me.
Thank you, Council President. I think, your remarks represented how multifaceted this approach will be. It's not just about the production, the brick and mortar. It's also preserving those opportunities and maintaining those opportunities once you get them. This next person, many of the people today don't really need an introduction, but I'm providing it anyway. This guy is usually the tallest person in the room when he's here. I think that's representative of how mighty the agency that he directs is. And I present you Kelvin Jeremiah, who's the President and CEO of PHI.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. No, really, good morning, everyone. Good morning. In the voice of Britney Spears, Cheryl Parker has done it again. I am so incredibly happy to be here with you, Mayor Parker, Council President as well. Under your leadership, Mayor Parker, affordable housing has finally become a priority. And I want to say to you and to everybody that's here, thank you for that. We believe strongly in giving everyone an opportunity to live in an affordable, decent place to live. And you're doing that with this executive order. And you deserve a round of applause. I know that over the year, we've worked hard trying to formulate a plan for the city that makes sense, not only for government, but for the people that we are so privileged to serve. And I think we're well on our way. So congratulations, Mayor Parker. Only you can bring what I would describe as the perfect alignment of city, state, federal partners, and a whole host of nonprofit philanthropic partners to the table to ensure that we're building, we're preserving, and expanding the availability of affordable housing across our great city. By addressing the affordable housing issue that we confront today, Mayor Parker's Home Initiative will tackle the root causes of poverty, giving folks an opportunity to move up and out, making themselves independent, putting folks on a pathway to economic mobility. You need to be applauded for that as well. It is not just housing. And I want you to know, Mayor Parker, and to the council and other elected members who are here, you had us at hello. I think you knew that, right? And as far as PHA is concerned, we are committing to this initiative 100%. We intend to fully preserve our more than 13,000 units across this great city.
Now he just told him how we getting to 30.
Oh, sure. That's why you should have reviewed my remarks. It's Jesse's fault. We are going to expand the availability of affordable housing to the tune of 7,000 units. And through our acquisition strategy that many of you have seen unfolded, it is not separate, but it's part of what we're doing with this great mayor and with this great city council. So we're adding over 20,000, or preserving over 20,000 units. And Mayor Parker, you know I'm not political, but I have a recommendation for both you and the council as you traverse the budget situation that is to come. Now, the PHA is committing $4.8 billion over the next 8 years.
Not fair. Not fair. Mr. President, not fair.
The challenge is for you to come. I know I have about 4 votes on council right now, so I have 4 votes. So I'm not challenging you. This is not an admittable means test, but I would recommend respectfully that you come up with about $2 billion of that to match. And I think don't panic.
Yeah, okay.
That's fair, money.
I think we can do it, and I think there is a way for us to do that. You've seen the plan, and I am just really so thrilled that we're going to be doing this as a whole of government approach, working in tandem with all of the folks who are in this room and some folks behind me who are equally skilled and probably even smarter. But I also want to take one other opportunity to thank the state and to thank Robin Wiseman, the head of PHFA. Robin has been a partner on this front for a number of years, and she probably gets as frustrated as I am when we realize what is coming down the pike. But I want to thank her personally and publicly for all of the incredible work that she is doing to ensure that there is financing available so that we can build, so that we can preserve the availability of affordable housing in our great city. Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
And to that note, the next person on the agenda is Robin Weissman from our partners at PHFA.
Good morning, everyone, and honored dignitaries, honored guests, and housing family here together, right? I've seen so many people today, and I'm really delighted to be here. I do want you to know that I wholeheartedly endorse and congratulate Mayor Parker on this initiative. It's so important. And I've known Philadelphia for a long, long time. But I also want to tell you I wholeheartedly endorse the concept of a safer, cleaner, greener Philadelphia with housing, luxury housing for all.
That's right. Thank you, Robin.
I appreciate the distinction you made, Mayor, about luxury housing. I am so struck. You all know PHFA is the vehicle by which we try to construct and implement your hopes, dreams, and reality for housing in Philadelphia and across the entire Commonwealth. But I appreciate the distinction the mayor made because I go into the quality housing that PHFA helps develop with all the developers, consultants, everyone, and I feel good that I would be happy to live in one of those homes. So congratulations to you, Mayor. So now you know what luxury housing means, right? I do want to say just a couple of things. I'm so happy to have the opportunity to speak today. And we all know the pressing need of affordable housing, all kinds of housing across the Commonwealth, and particularly in Philadelphia. That's why the Home Initiative is so critically important. And the goals are right on point. You just heard them articulated. But preserving existing housing stock, because that's the most affordable way to have people in homes. And working with people to help them stay in their housing before they lose that housing and find themselves on somebody's couch. And of course, we need to make sure we take concrete steps to make our housing more affordable and to add to our existing housing stock by building more homes. As many of you know, and I just said, we are the vehicle. PHFA agency funds affordable housing across the state. And Philadelphia does get much of our attention because of the large population base and the high level of need for affordable housing. Over the 51 years that PHFA has worked closely with the city of Philadelphia time and again to fund the construction of affordable housing and to provide for home ownership among individuals. But it's not just the low-income housing tax credits that we have for the city. We also sell mortgages at below market rates.
Can we give that a round of applause, please?
During last year, PHFA made 1,196 affordable home loans to Philadelphia home buyers, over $383 million. And we can do more. We were the second most prolific home ownership program across the country this year. We had more loans and more volume. We were number 2 in the country, I think for the second year in a row. So thrilled about that. And we have the capacity to do more because we have allocation of volume cap now. So please spread the word. We also have this very popular FAIR program, which some of our state legislators have been very important and instrumental in increasing. It started at $40 million, and it's now slated to go up to $100 million. We'll have $80 million this year. And $12.3 million was invested in a number of housing efforts in Philadelphia just this past year. Our nationally recognized foreclosure program is HEMAP. Again, tell people if they have temporary interruption, please apply for HEMAP at PHFA. And those HEMAP loans helped with a total value of $500,000 last year for Philadelphians. I'm giving you Philadelphia statistics. These are important initiatives, but we obviously have so much more to do. I want to note that the governor has initiated a housing action plan, which will be collaboration and cooperation across the Commonwealth. A single state government vision. We've been holding roundtables. Some of you have been there all across the Commonwealth. And here's the good news. The comments are all the same.
Yes.
There's no difference whether you're urban, suburban, or rural. The interests, the challenges, and the responses that we can make, which FAIR will definitely help with, will make are uniform. So I'm struck. I've been involved with PHFA for more than a decade, and I'm struck at how much housing is at an inflection point in this country, in this Commonwealth, and thank goodness the city is now has always tried, but now is putting together a really comprehensive effort. So we need these efforts. We need all of you. We need all to row in the same direction for the common goal as opposed to individual interests. And I hope to be a part of that. Some people might be discouraged by this because it is a steep hill, but we can't be, and I'm not. We have to work. I see so much promise, so many solutions, and I'm happy and delighted to be a part of this with you in Philadelphia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robin. So as Robin indicated, this is something, that the governor's working with and understanding that the conversation, as massive as the Commonwealth is, the conversation's the same. Comments are the same. But this next person, who is a partner on our consultant side, has really done the work, a lot of work that really has shown us where we need to be and where we need to go. And he can speak to not just what Philadelphia and Pennsylvania is doing, he can also talk about what other places in the country are doing as well. So with that said, Greg Heller from Guidehouse.
Thank you. All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. So I had the honor to serve as a senior member of the city's housing leadership in the prior administration, and in that role, I got to see the power of what government can achieve, especially when it innovates and builds partnerships within government, other agencies, and within the private sector. For the past few years, I've been working as a consultant, going around the country, helping cities, counties, and states build more effective housing agencies. And the one thing that's clear is that this is a problem everywhere. Housing is a huge challenge no matter where you go. Cities across the country of every size and geography are struggling right now with how to build more supply, preserve the housing they have, keep housing affordable, and reduce housing instability. The Parker administration deserves a lot of credit for tackling this challenge head on. And I'll tell you, not every city is tackling this challenge head on. We know that to have a livable, thriving, and competitive city, rich with economic opportunity, all Philadelphians must be able to have quality, affordable, safe, healthy housing. This executive order acknowledges that to achieve this goal of housing for all, change must come from within. Today's executive order makes a bold statement that every department and agency needs to focus on housing as a priority. Let me say that again. Think about what that means. Every department and agency within the city of Philadelphia, no matter what their regular course of business is, what their job is, what they typically focus on, needs to focus on housing. And they have to take actions to collaborate, improve processes, break down bureaucracy, and be more effective by embracing this common goal, that producing and preserving housing is the foundation of our city's success. And it's essential for the well-being of our people. That's really powerful. Philadelphia has a strong track record of using data to build effective programs that are truly national models. I saw this when I was in government. A number of people in this room were part of it. We have some programs that are truly national models, like Restore, Repair, Renew, like Turn the Key. These are things that people in other cities, when I go around the country, they say, we want to do that in our city. We have important vehicles for getting access to capital, like the Philadelphia Accelerator Fund. So Philadelphia is already investing in what works. And I hope everybody got that page there. This administration has done a lot since it started, and obviously is continuing to keep housing as a core focus. Another thing that Philadelphia is doing, though, in addition to investing what works, is looking across the nation, speaking with peer cities, and identifying successful models that can be adapted so that we're harnessing leading practices. So how can we expand on that strong foundation and transform Philadelphia into the most effective city in the country? The city that is most responsive to its people, the city that truly provides housing for all. How can we get there? How can we be a city that is innovative and highly collaborative, that provides excellent customer service and is responsive to all of its citizens? As Secretary Weissman just said, Director Weissman, excuse me, it relies on everyone rowing in the same direction. Right. Today's executive order is neither the start nor the end. It's an important stop along the long and winding path of truly achieving housing for all. This administration has done a lot. We have a long way to go. This is an important stop along the road, and it's going to require everyone in this room to be partners and to row in the same direction. So thank you all for your partnership. And I just want to say, we're so thrilled and excited to have Angela Brooks, who is really someone who is known nationally, has a great reputation, has done amazing things. Philadelphia is where the action is, and we're attracting great people to come in and be part of this team. So thank you to everyone in this room, and let's do this. Let's get housing for all.
Angela, you'll be a Philadelphian in no time. I can speak from experience. I want to recognize just a couple of the electeds that walked in the time that we've been here. Council Member Squilla, I believe, and Council Member Lozada as well. Thank you. This next person up is also part of the team that's helping us get through this as far as the evaluation and setting the standard for a foundation that is predicated on data. Ira Goldstein from the Reinvestment Fund.
I think it took me longer to get here than I'm going to speak. But good morning. My name is Ira Goldstein. I'm a senior advisor with a Philadelphia-based not-for-profit lending institution called Reinvestment Fund. It's inspiring to be here today with all these amazing public officials locally from the state, and hopefully the federal government is hearing us, and the for and the not-for-profit organizations with extraordinary records of achieving, creating, and preserving affordable and high-quality housing for Philadelphia residents. And it's not only for people who own their homes, it's for people who aspire to own and for people who rent, if that's their choice. We want it to be high quality and affordable and sustainable for all. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to work with this mayor, on what brings us all together today, which is that Philadelphia's Housing Opportunities Made Easy Initiative, or HOME Initiative. Mayor Parker and I have worked together many times over the years on things that are very important to her and to me, and to you all, I think. Predatory lending, abusive reverse mortgages that end up oftentimes with older people in foreclosure, racial bias in the appraising and the assessing and the valuation of housing. All these things are things that we had an opportunity to work on together. It's because this mayor really finds those practices just so damaging to Philadelphians. And I also saw in that work that Mayor Parker really does value data, quantitative data, and qualitative stakeholder input in order to fashion remedies to the things that these problems represent. So in creating this housing plan, I think it's important to say that we are working to bring together the best data that is going to be reflective of the housing shortage in the city of Philadelphia, where it is, what kind it is for people who own, for people who rent, at the varying price points, for buying at the various price points, for renting. All of that will inform the way this plan gets done, because there are a variety of needs and there are a variety of things that the city will do to address those needs. And while the city has a shortage of housing units, it's also fair to say, for all of you in this room who are housing experts, that there are parts of Philadelphia where there's actually a surplus of housing. And we need to figure out how to get that activated as well as part of all this. But beyond new construction, many of Philadelphia's homes need repairs that owners, many of the city's owners and landlords simply can't manage. And we're going to use data to estimate where that is, how much it is, the kind it is, and to make sure that we have a variety of tools to get it all squared away, because that's part and parcel of getting this 30,000 unit promise done. One particular thing that I'm really excited about is the mayor has tasked us with examining impediments people experience in getting credit. And the way the market works, sometimes loans are fashioned in a way that the way the market responds to the perceived risk of borrowers, they actually create risk for borrowers. And so some of the things that we're going to be looking at are ways to sort of turn that upside down and use the financial heft of the city and others to figure out how to create mortgage products that will be affordable, sustainable, and less risky both for the people who get them and for the financial institutions that make them. So in closing, this is going to be a really busy couple months. I know it's years of work, but it's going to be a really busy couple months. And that's for the people inside of government and probably most of the people in this room and more and beyond. But when we all get to see all the people housed, neighborhoods strengthened, builders and rehabbers building and rehabbing, and the city's systems all working in concert to effectuate the home initiative, it will definitely be worth it. Thank you.
At this point in the agenda, we'll start to move to the people that actually do the work. I want to introduce John Parsons from BSI.
What's up, buddy? My name is John Parsons. I'm president of BSI Construction. And as everybody knows, Mayor Parker is one that deeply understands the Philadelphia and the work that she needs to still do here. We are a union builder. We felt that it was our responsibility as a city contractor growing up in Frankfurt, understanding the difference in the housing needs, that we felt that we need to get involved in this as a union contractor. We've had meetings with the Esperanza team. We've had meetings with other developers and other people that are looking to work along with PHA. We've had conversations with I-98, 420, Brian Boyer with the laborers union, some other unions, in reference to this, we can make the housing that much more affordable here in Philadelphia. With that being said, we'd like to today congratulate Mayor Parker on behalf of making this housing as equitable and better for everybody. We're thrilled to be here and we're thrilled to be part of it. Thank you.
Next person is Corinne O'Connell, who's the CEO of Habitat for Humanity.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm not going to echo everything that has been said because we're all here and we all are on board for Mission 30,000. Kudos to the mayor and her team. Welcome to Angela. I'm going to center us on the humans, which is why we're here and what we do. We just sold 2 more homes yesterday at 33rd and Oxford, land from the city, partnership with the 5th District. And what's unique about this project, it's a density model, it's ownership, and it's multifamily. The families that buy, that mom who's working 2 jobs right now, 2 jobs, she buys, she builds equity. Those kids live in a healthy, safe home. They have East Fairmount Park, Smith Memorial Playground. The Discovery Center is their backyard. We're opening doors of opportunity. That's why we're all here today. That's what we're committed to, that more families, like the 2 that bought yesterday, open doors of opportunity. The other that I want to center, so that's on the supply side. On the preservation side, we've repaired over 1,000 homes. We're just getting started. In partnership, both with Dave Thomas and his team, but certainly Kelvin, we repaired a home in Sharswood. There was a tangled title issue, right? We've mentioned that already. We worked to untangle that title. The woman had lived there, the family had owned since the 60s, across from the towers that have come down and the redevelopment in Sharswood. But the roof had leaked, and it leaked through the 2nd floor, and 2nd floor through the kitchen, right on down to the basement. So with her diabetes, she was cooking on a hot plate in the living room. Preserve the house, fix the roof, fix the 2nd floor bedroom, fix the joists in the basement. And when Will, on our construction team, when he was installing the oven, the woman said to him, "I can now go back to church," which is a funny thing to say, right? But it turns out her favorite thing to do was to bake and to go to fellowship at church. So her world that went from a living room and a hot plate expands again. That's why we're here today. That's Mission 30,000. And I have a little bit of a play on a tagline for you, Mayor. Build, baby, build.
Build, baby, build.
Thanks, Corinne. I just want to recognize Senator Saval. I don't think we realized you were in the room. You were definitely in the room. I just didn't give you the recognition. So thank you for being here today. The next person on the list is Maria Gonzalez, somebody I think everybody in this room has worked with at some point.
Thank you. Buenos dias. I am really honored to be here with you today to be part of this amazing signing of this executive order. As a affordable housing developer in Philadelphia, I love building, And, because, as a young person coming here from Puerto Rico, we realized a lot of unstable housing because my mom couldn't afford it. So I know firsthand the meaning, what it is to have safe, stable, affordable housing for our families. I'm here representing ASE as president and also a former president of PACDC, the Philadelphia Association of CDCs, who are very excited about Mayor Parker's, about creating this initiative for preserving 30,000 homes and creating new homes, which is a keystone of your administration. We're so proud of that. We recognize that this is a growing critical need for high quality, affordable housing, which is a key ingredient for improved economic and health outcomes, self-sufficiency for families, and to create stable neighborhoods and building generational wealth, right? We're always talking about that. This is the first step for families to be able to own a home and start building wealth and be able to open a business if they so choose or send their kids to college. And especially in communities that have suffered through a lot of disinvestment. We applaud you for making this commitment to improving the coordination of city departments and resources and working with vital partners that include many CDC, housing developers, PHFA, PHA, the trade unions, and other smaller minority developers that are excited to work with you to really build these 30,000 units for all Philadelphians. As doing development in Philadelphia, one of the things that I've come to learn is you can't develop housing in a vacuum. You need to be able to look at the infrastructure of communities. And I want to thank you, Mayor Parker, for creating that Office of Clean and Green Initiatives that is helping to clean Philadelphia, remove graffiti. I sit in those briefings because I'm part of, the council, and I am so amazed by the ton of information that is shared and all the trash and how we have been able to maintain that sustainable for so long, a year later. And more to come, right? Because we're not done. There's more that needs to be done. So I'm very excited about that. And as we've said, all of us have said, partnership is key. Community development corporations, nonprofit partners are ready to be able to support you and be part of this and be able to contribute what we know about our neighborhoods and the trust that we have with our residents. So I want to thank you for that.
The next person is one of the folks we know from our Building and Construction Trades Council, and it's Ryan Boyer.
Thank you. I would like to preface my comments by saying on behalf of the over 36,000 tradesmen and women of the Philadelphia Building and Construction Trade Council, we welcome you to Philadelphia, Angela. And you did not have to wear green. I want to thank the mayor and the council president and Kelvin Jeremiah and everyone else here. I have to say Kelvin because he's the #1 employer of my men and women. He's the biggest developer in the city of Philadelphia. But I wanted to say, that's called a raise with May coming up. As I traverse the country, Philadelphia City Council, when you were on City Council, and the current council, have some of the most progressive home preservation programs in the United States of America. Low-income tax freeze, owner-occupied payment agreement, long occupant agreement program, the homestead, and basic systems. Almost $1 million a month. And we at the building trades, $1 million a week. $1 million a week. And it's $52 million in a year, so we need to double that to about $104 million, Ms. Sir. But we at the Philadelphia Building Trades, we stand ready to help the home program. We have done this in other parts of the world because a home isn't about a place that you go. It's a feeling that you get. You heard the council president talk about his pride when he had home ownership. Well, that also eradicates that gap between the have and the have-nots, because number one wealth is in your home. We have to do this. We are partners, and if we have to put up some of our substantial pension funds to help,
Oh, God, say it again for me.
we're going to do it. Because Calvin quoted that great American poet Britney Spears. I have a better one.
Oh, okay.
His name is Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z.
Okay.
He says, you was who you was before you got here. And who I am is a poor kid from Richard Allen that understands affordable luxury. And we're here. I'm no different. And as Kenyatta, he was educated a lot of places. I was educated in some less stellar places. However, I don't have to live there anymore. But when I live there and I go back there and I see what Kelvin has done, I see what Ed Hillis and Domus and Johnny Parson does in the affordable space, and I see what Robin does to help people with lending. This brings every ideological spectrum right here to the table. And I see my guy Taib back there for the collective. We're going to have some black developers in this too. Yeah, we're going to have it. This is important. And this tells you her priority. And the mayor and council president, they don't care when they call you when work comes. They'll call you 8 at night, 4 in the morning, both of y'all do it. Brother, you up? I am now. But it shows the commitment that they have to do something. Because when you had the power, what did you do with it? And you see this. And they also have my brother up here. We're restoring people's lives through this. You're going to hear from Daoud Bey later. Right. And I wore this GBCA shirt for him. One day he's going to join the GBCA and leave Mo.
And with that said, I'd like to pivot to Aaron Dwyer Harvard from GBCA.
So no, I did not ask Ryan to wear that beautiful quarter zip today, but I'm happy about it. Contractors keep it brief, so I will keep it brief for you guys today. At GBCA, our members believe that affordable housing creates opportunities for residents, businesses, and all Philadelphians. We share Mayor Parker's vision for a city where everyone, I mean everyone, has access to safe and affordable housing. We are proud to play a role in the future of building Philadelphia. And by prioritizing affordable housing, we create opportunities not only to grow our industry, but our community. So thank you, Mayor Parker, for your bold vision of creating the safest, cleanest, greenest city in America, with economic opportunity for all. You understand that progress does not happen without all stakeholders at the table. GBCA is proud to be here, and we're ready to get to work.
Thanks, Aaron. I'd like to bring up Mo Rushdie, who's the president of BIA.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And Angela, do you have any time slots for Friday for a meeting? We're ready. So I wanted to also thank the Planning and Development Director, Jesse Lawrence, and his Chief of Staff, John Monlack, who asked me not to mention him, but I am. And all the dedicated staff that have been working hard to bring these big ideas and plans to light. I also wanted to thank David Thomas and Angel Rodriguez from the Land Bank for all the work that they have been doing to bring affordable housing and getting Turnkey to be a success over the last couple of years. So if you have not realized by now, I do have much regard and respect for this mayor. She's strong-willed and determined. She focuses on results and making bold moves for the people of this great city. She understands the needs, but she also understands the limitations, and it's about doing and reaching our maximum potential. I am honored and humbled to be standing beside our mayor today as she signs this executive order, along with a lot of the colleagues and a lot of the nonprofits in the room today.
The BIA, as a for-profit organization, has close to about 420 members who strive every day to provide solutions for the city and create their own think tanks on getting good policies to the city to promote affordable housing. So I know that there's more to come with the housing plan later this year and other orders that will bring all types of housing, affordable and others, to our communities and our city. Continuing on the commitment of making Philadelphia the safest, cleanest, and greenest city in America. I do know that, and I really know that behind the scenes there's enormous amount of work being done to bring these plans to fruition, and it will be done. Don't question it, it will be done.
That's great. Thank you, Mayor.
So Mayor Parker, thank you for making this a priority for year 2 of your administration and for being a fighter for the city. You are bringing a lot of changes that will greatly improve the housing landscape for us all. Thank you.
This next gentleman, I'm always happy to see behind the mic and at a podium because he's really come up in the ranks in the last couple of years, working very closely with the City of Philadelphia's public sector and really building a business that has provided access to folks who historically have not had the access to it, but also providing homes to people who historically have not had access to those opportunities. So with that said, Dawood Bey from Fine Print Construction.
Former Councilman Darrell Clark used to say, promises made.
Promises kept.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor Parker, for allowing me to be a part of this historic occasion. As a graduate of the City and PHDC Minority Developer Program, an entrepreneur, an affordable housing developer, a member of the Mayor's Roundtable for Housing Planning and Development, and an advocate for returning citizens rebuilding their lives. I am truly honored to stand here today. I want to commend Mayor Parker and the Department of Planning and Development for their leadership and vision in bringing together some of the brightest minds in our industry. It takes wisdom to not only recognize the challenges we face, but to also seek collaborative solutions. I respect the Mayor, Jesse Lawrence, and everyone involved in this effort and their commitment to improving the development process. These are clear signs that the Mayor and her administration has been listening. Through our roundtable discussion, we voiced the need for greater efficiency, transparency, coordination, and housing development. Today, we see that feedback being put into action. In my work, I engage with PHDC, the Philadelphia Land Bank, zoning, L&I, the Philadelphia Water Department, and many others on my development projects. Hearing that these departments are committed to working together more effectively is not just encouraging, it's essential. This plan will help accelerate the mayor's ambitious goal of building and preserving 30,000 homes. I personally built 27 rental units, all fully leased, and I'm currently developing 39 first-time home buyers through the Turnkey program. I didn't put it in my speech, but I'm also partnered with my partner, Mo Rusty. Thank you very much. Being a part of the Turnkey has not only transformed my business, it has allowed me to witness firsthand the power of home ownership. I've seen renters who never imagined they could own a home are now achieving that dream. Their lives and their families' futures are forever changed because of this initiative. Anything we can do to make home ownership a reality for everyday working families striving for a better future and a stronger community, I'm in full support of that. Thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of this historical moment.
So just want to provide the opportunity for Dave Thomas, who has been a colleague for my entirety here in Philadelphia.
I'm gonna bring it home. All right, folks. Had no prepared words, but I am happy to be here. It's my pleasure to be with this mayor, working hard to achieve her vision So I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to drop the mic as I was just told to do. PHDC, we at PHDC stand ready, willing, and able to deliver on the promise that the mayor has made to make everything more affordable, safe, and keeping our city being first class all the way. All right, PHDC, go.
Mr. President.
Let's go.
So now we move to signing.
Yes. Okay. Angela, where's Jesse? Kelvin? Where's Robin? Robin, we will not get here without you. And I'm not going to exaggerate. I can't see. Can somebody give me some glasses? Oh, I can't see, yes. Anybody? Oh, my glasses, they right behind me? Oh, all right. No, I really do need glasses. No, I'm not joking. I think that's, no.
I hope they're not too strong.
Oh, wait, they have them. All right. The president, this is important. The president's here. Robin, so we can see you. What's today's date? What's the 19th? Where's Dawood? Where's Dawood? Come here. This is for you. Thank you. We did it. Let me turn it around, Mr. President. All right. Okay, now to the fun part. Everybody usually likes to leave on this part, Mr. President. Here's the Q&A. Hello. Oh, they can hear me. Is Pat Loeb still here? Hey, Pat, we're going to, we'll just give, I think some folks are heading out. Excuse me, everyone. We have to get through the Q&A portion of this. So if we could just for a second. We want to start with you, Pat. Yes. So there are a ton of existing programs already running and doing extremely well in the city. There's some programs that need to be developed in our city that don't exist. We have a framework for all of it, but won't etch any of it in stone until we get the feedback within those 30 days from that formal gathering. You have to understand that this is, in essence, phase 2. Phase 1 of our process started in December of 2023. Before I was elected, I want to state for the record, where we convened industry experts through our housing transition team that was led by former PHFA leader Bryant Hudson, which developed a policy paper to guide the early actions of the administration. That was first. We weren't even here, December 2023. I'm not going to walk through them all, but I'm going to talk about if you could just give us a second, please. March 2024, PHA received 100 additional HUD-VASH vouchers from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs to provide at-risk veterans with housing. 2024, we heard, folks, we announced 5 appointments to the Land Bank Board of Directors, the first in several steps of strengthening the Land Bank to move parcels out of its inventory more swiftly. And I think Herb Wetzel was heard. Did I see Herb somewhere? Herb. So that was a part of it. So it's several more, and we'll give you a formal copy of this, Pat, so that you could have it. This is a part of phase 2. And we won't present the formal plan of how the implementation will take place until we have officially gone through that convening. Yeah, some of the people in this room are saying, well, what are you talking about? We've been convening for a year. We've been talking in groups and with different stakeholders and meeting. Absolutely. We formalized this activity on today. They will continue to do that work, and they will give me their final recommendations in 30 days. We will introduce the budget. When's the budget being introduced, Mr. March the 13th, we come to council to give the budget address. At that time, we're going to start talking about the value, the dollar amount value. We want to do all this. This is great and wonderful, but somebody's saying, how are you going to pay for it? Where are you going to get the money from? How are you going to do it? Where does the seed money come from? I didn't say it, but you heard him say, my good brother, the leader of the Philadelphia Building Trades and Construction Council, Ryan Boyer. Just hearing Ryan Boyer, if you've never been encouraged when you've heard me say that this is the first time we've ever seen anything like this happen in the city, you heard the head of the building trades talk about being on the side of a contributor, not just doing the work. Yes, this Philadelphia, the building trades are going to do the work. They're going to help us to train as well the next generation of skilled tradesmen and women in the city of Philadelphia. But being on the side of contributing to this effort, I mean, that's game-changing, Mr. President, because we've never had that before. So give us the 30 days, Pat. We'll get that formal plan to you. But I'll tell you one thing we won't have. We won't have any stakeholder who leads a housing agency, organization in the city of Philadelphia who planning and development under the leadership of Jesse Lawrence and now Angela Brooks with us specifically working on this effort. They will be getting feedback, input, so that everyone who we can bring together and stakeholders. Think about Restore, Repair, Renew. I'm looking at Jill. Think about Clarify. I'm thinking about our robust housing counseling network. The dynamic message from ISAY today and Jimmy Carter. Habitat for Humanity. Wow, you know what you did to me. Yeah, like all of that has to come forward, and it has to be formal. So no, today is the executive order to tell you this is how the plan is going to be executed. Budget address will tell you how we intend on paying for it and how much we intend on investing in it. So no split about the specific numbers, but this is it. We talked about renters and homeowners. And this is what I mean. I really appreciate that question, because there is someone somewhere waiting to wage war. You hear me? Ready to wage the AMI war in the city of Philadelphia. I'm ready. I'm ready. You will not pit the have-nots against those who have just a little bit. The goal is not to keep people who are just entering into the housing network, whether it's through renting and or home ownership. And let's just say it is an apartment. We don't have to stay where we start. My grandmother and grandfather started in the South. It landed them in Richard Allen Homes at 12th and Poplar in North Philadelphia. But they ended on the 1900 block of Penfield Street, owning that row house, which was a castle to me when I grew up. We should want people to progress and not try to pit them against each other. And that is something, that's a hill I'm willing to die on, Mr. President. I'm willing to die. Won't allow that to happen in this effort. So everything. Think about public housing. Where's Kelvin? Kelvin, I don't know if people have actually even seen what PHA, and Robin said it when she talked about PHFA's investment. The public housing that you knew that was Richard Allen years ago, that's not the PHA, of today. when we took that, who are the brothers? They had worked with you on some kind of project. Where were we? What was the address? Where were it was, we're in Sharswood. And we're walking through, and I said, Kelvin. And not only that, Kelvin, you know what else I'm thinking about? How about if I enter via public housing? What if PHA made an opportunity for me to own what I've been renting? What that I've been paying, monthly for? What if PHA made a rent-to-own option available for me? That's how you put me on a path to self-sufficiency, and you don't engage in, I'm going to be disciplined today. That's where I am. I'm being disciplined. Thank you all. Thank you all so very much. Mr. President, thank you.